This branch of philosophy looks for the irreducible foundation of reality of first principles.
Correct response. Metaphysics is the most accurate answer.
Given below are the names of commissions and their heads. Which among them is rightly matched?
Well picked. Calcutta University Commission 1917 Michael Sadler is the correct answer.
Which philosophy of education emphasizes the cultivation of moral and ethical understanding?
Good thinking. Idealism is the right answer.
This philosophy holds that whatever fulfills one's purpose and develops his life is true.
Nicely done. Pragmatism is a solid answer.
One of these is not a trait of a profession that is aligned to the teaching profession.
Nice work. You chose higher education and it is correct.
An Eastern philosophy that says that the purpose of life is to find enlightenment.
You're right. Hinduism is the correct answer.
Which educational philosophy views knowledge as constantly changing and evolving?
Bravo! Pragmatism is the answer.
A naturalistic philosophy that give a way to unify one with the ultimate reality.
Good job. Your answer Taoism works well here.
According to Obafemi Awolowo, what is the basis of individual and social freedom?
Nice selection. Self-reliance is the correct and valid answer.
The goal of this philosophy is to teach students how to think, not what to think.
Solid response. Progressivism is a valid choice.
Idealism views education as primarily focusing on which aspects of human beings?
Excellent choice. Moral, spiritual, and mental is the right answer.
How can the philosophy of education be used to evaluate instructional practices?
Great job. By aligning with the principles of the philosophy is the accurate answer.
The following are some of the philosophies of education in Malaysia, except dash.
Clear logic. Your choice philosophy of student education is sound and 100% true.
A Western philosophy refers to the external world of objects, is not imaginary.
Right choice. Realism is the best answer.
Which branch of philosophy is primarily concerned with the question of being?
Great thinking. Existentialism is the right choice.
What is the other source of knowledge from the view of Islamic philosophers?
Strong choice. Quran and Sunnah is the right answer.
The philosophy that seeks to change society rather than just teach about it.
Valid point. Social reconstructionism is true.
According to this philosophy, truth is to be found in consistency of ideas.
Perfect. Idealism is the correct choice.
Which philosophy is based on real-world experiences and John Dewey's work?
Exactly. Progressivism makes sense and it is right choice.
A Western philosophy refers to the action that gets priority over thought.
Well reasoned. Pragmatism is the correct choice.
How are the philosophy of education and the theory of learning related?
On track. The theory of learning evaluates instructional practices is the correct answer.
Which of the following subjects did Descartes most admire as a student?
You got it? Your choice mathematics is right.
The study of principles and values. What branch of philosophy is this?
Excellent. Axiology is a brilliant choice.
Which philosophy recommends that students learn from the great books?
Right again. Perennialism is a valid answer.
According to existentialism, what role do learners have in education?
Well done. Active participants in choosing their learning path is the right choice. Which philosophy does the United States school system most resemble? Sharp thinking. Essentialism is the right choice. According to existentialism, what is the ultimate goal of education? Smart move. Developing consciousness about freedom and responsibility is an accurate answer. Below are some of the methods of educational philosophy exclude dash. You chose autism, and it is correct. What method of teaching did Fafunwa advocate for nursery education? Smart pick. Teaching through storytelling, imitation, and group projects is the correct choice. Which philosophy of education views knowledge as a personal choice? Correct. Existentialism is the right answer. The branch of philosophy that studies the question of value is dash. Good thinking. Axiology is the right answer. Jean-Jacques Rousseau organized education into the following except. Perfect. Adult education is the correct choice. The following are the fundamentals of Islamic philosophy, except. You got it? Your choice role of nationality is right. The role of the teacher in the philosophy of pragmatism is dash. On track. All of them is the correct answer. Dash a term used for multidisciplinary approach to education. Exactly. Liberal education makes sense and it is right choice. The philosophy that advocates reality is outside of our minds. Smart move. Realism is an accurate answer. Which school of philosophy holds that soul and Brahma are one? Sharp thinking. Advaita is the right choice. Education does not give freedom but allows individual to dash. Right again. Make use of the freedoms they have is a valid answer. Who was the chairman of University Education Commission 1948? Bravo, Dr. S. Radhakrishnan is the answer. Which school of philosophy believes in eat, drink, and be merry? Well done. Everybody's is the right choice. Dash means to draw out the best of what is inside the child. Strong choice. To bring out is the right answer. What do you call the study of the nature of moral judgments? Nice selection. Ethics is the correct and valid answer. What does pragmatism view as the ultimate goal of education? Well picked. Acquiring practical knowledge and skills is the correct answer. Philosophy emphasizes the subjectivity of human experience. You're right. Existentialism is the correct answer. What is the primary emphasis of postmodernism in education? Great job. Diversity and subjectivity is the accurate answer. In the philosophy of pragmatism, curriculum should be dash. Nice work. You chose all of them and it is correct. What is the etymological meaning of the word philosophy? Correct response. love of wisdom is the most accurate answer.
Dash means the love for knowledge or passion for learning. You chose philosophy, and it is correct.
According to perennialism, what is the aim of education?
Excellent. Instilling timeless knowledge is a brilliant choice.
Which era does Socrates belong to in Western philosophy?
Right choice. Ancient is the best answer.
Saracen philosophy and Christian philosophy belongs to.
Great thinking. Eastern philosophy is the right choice. Idealists always have stressed the importance of dash. Good job. Your answer mind over matter works well here. Which of the following is not a branch of philosophy? Solid response. Language is a valid choice. Who are the main philosophers in Western philosophy? Valid point. Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle is true. What did Majasan believe about the aim of education? Clear logic. Your choice education should prioritize strong moral character over mere literacy is sound and 100% true.
What does the study of philosophy aim to understand?
Smart pick. The fundamental nature of knowledge, reality, and existence is the correct choice. Pragmatism suggests that education should focus on. Nicely done. Experiencing the process of learning is a solid answer.
Which region is associated with Eastern philosophy?
Excellent choice. East and South Asia is the right answer. Which philosophy is based on real-world experience? Correct. Pragmatism is the right answer. Aristotle influenced this philosophy of education. Well reasoned. Essentialism is the correct choice. The following are the Western philosophy except. Correct. Essentialism is the right answer. Which is one of the goals of Islamic education? Smart pick. To develop a sense of accountability towards Almighty Creator is the correct choice. Which branch of philosophy deals with knowledge? Good thinking? Epistemology is the right answer. What is the emphasis of realism in education? On track. Logical reasoning is the correct answer. Choose the correct subdivision of philosophy. Perfect. Epistemology, metaphysics, logic is the correct choice. This philosophy uses reward and punishment. You're right. Behaviorism is the correct answer. What does idealism emphasize in education? Sharp thinking. Pursuit of knowledge is the right choice. What are the major branches of philosophy? Good job. Your answer metaphysics, logic, epistemology, and axiology works well here. Who is the founder of liberal philosophy? Clear logic. Your choice, John Locke, is sound and 100% true.
Critical theory in education focuses on.
Valid point. Empowering students to challenge societal structures is true. What does the theory of learning study? You got it. Your choice, the processes of acquiring knowledge and skills is right. Who was the founder of yoga philosophy? Excellent. Patanjali is a brilliant choice. Postmodernism in education emphasizes. Well done. Diversity and subjectivity is the right choice.
What is the philosophy of education?
Bravo. The investigation of the nature of education is the answer.
He is the father of education.
Smart move. Horace Mann is an accurate answer. How many modes of philosophy? Well picked. 3 is the correct answer. Progressivism advocates for. Exactly. Tailoring education to individual needs makes sense and it is right choice. Philosophy was derived from. Nice work. You chose Greek words and it is correct. What does philosophy mean? Right again. The love of wisdom is a valid answer. Essentialism focuses on. Solid response. Teaching essential elements of knowledge is a valid choice.
How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format?
You chose contact Narayan Changder. And it is correct.